Good day, class. So we are here to share some of the keys that will serve as your additional knowledge to your research. But before we go on, the student should be able to identify the types of sampling methods and differentiate probability and non-probability sampling methods, compute the formula of mean, median, standard deviation, and t-test based on the given problems. So let's proceed to our discussion. Sampling and sampling techniques. Okay, who among you knows about sampling? Okay, what first comes to your mind when you hear the word sampling? Sampling is the selection of the part of the universe of interest that represents the whole. Sample is representative part of the population or subset of population, meaning if the population is the data or the whole data, meaning the sample is only the part of the population or the data. Okay, the next is probability sampling techniques. Is used when each element of the universe has known chance not necessarily equal of being included in the sample. This is the technique when you are getting the data of the population. Okay, next. Types of sampling method. Probability sampling and non-probability sampling. Probability sampling is used when each element of the universe has known chance not necessarily equal of being included in the sample. Meaning it can be in the definition of this probability sampling. If the sample of the populations is more than 30, we can say it the probability sampling. But when it is in lower than 30 sample of the population, it can be the non-probability sampling method. Okay, the non-probability sampling method, it is used when each element of the universe has an unknown chance of being included in the sample. Okay, here are the types of probability sampling methods. A simple random sampling, stratified random sampling, systematic sampling, cluster sampling, and multi-stage sampling. Okay, in simple random sampling, it is used when every element of the universe of our population has an equal probability of being included in the sample. This can be done through lottery or fishbowl sampling method, meaning it is the easiest random sampling. Then next is the stratified random sampling. It is used when the elements of the population are first subdivided into non-overlapping groups called strata. A sample random sample is then obtained from each stratum. Next is the systematic sampling. Systematic sampling, it is used when the elements of the universe are arranged in some manner. A unit is then sampled from the first k units and every kth subsequent units. Then the cluster sampling, it is used when the elements of the universe are grouped into clusters, meaning it is the divisions. Sample clusters are then selected, and all the elements of the sampling cluster are elements of the sample. Okay, what are the advantages and disadvantages of this probability sampling? So what are the advantages and disadvantages of that sampling? Okay, let's start with the simple random sampling. In simple random sampling, it creates samples that are highly representative to the population. But the disadvantage of this sampling is it is tedious and time consuming. Stratified random sampling creates the strata of the layers are highly representative to the population, but it also tedious and time consuming. Then the cluster sampling, it is convenience and easy to use, but it might not work well because some of the members are homogeneous or not cooperative with each other. And systematic sampling creates samples that are highly representative to the population without the need for a random number generator, but not as simple random sampling. So what are the example of that said random sampling? Okay, let's start with the simple random sampling. Here is the example. You want to select a simple random sample of 100 employees of company X. You assign a number to every employee in the company database from 1 to 1000 and use a random number generator to select 100 numbers. Then, next is the systematic sampling. Here is the example. All employees of the companies are listed in alphabetical order. From the first 10 numbers, you randomly select a starting point, number 6. From number 6 onwards, every 10th person on the list is selected 6, 16, 26, 36, and so on. And you end up with a sample of 100 people. Then, stratified sampling. Here is the example. The company has 800 female and employees and 200 male employees. You want to ensure that sample reflects the gender balance of the company. So you sort the population into 2 strata based on gender. Then you use the random sampling of each group, selecting 80 women and 20 men, which gives you a representative sampling of 100 people. Then the cluster sampling. Here's the example. The company has offices in 10 cities across the country, all with roughly the same number of employees in similar rows. You don't have the capacity to travel to every office to collect your data. So you use the random sampling to select 3 offices. These are the clusters. Okay, let's proceed to the non-probability sampling methods. And here are the types of the non-probability sampling methods. Number 1 is the convenience sampling. It is the non-probability sampling technique which the researchers or field workers choose whoever they find. And the judgmental sampling. It is the non-probability sampling techniques in which the researchers select respondents on a particular criterion. And the quota sampling methods. It is a non-probability sampling techniques in which certain relevant characteristics describe the dimension of the sample.
Okay, our next topic is about t-test. What is a t-test? A t-test is a type of inferential statistics used to determine if there is a significant difference between the means of 2 groups which may be related in certain features. It is mostly used when the datasets, like the dataset recorded as the outcome from flipping a coin of 100 times, would follow a normal distribution and may have unknown variances. A t-test is used as a hypothesis testing tool, which allows testing of an assumption applicable to a population. So, all in all, a t-test is about comparing 2 data. It may be related or unrelated. So, if you are going to compare 2 related data, you are going to use a t-test. And pag hindi naman unrelated yung gagawin mo, as long as it is 2 data, t-test pa rin ang gagamitin mo. Next one is about the t-score. The t-score is a ratio between the difference between two groups and the difference within the groups. The larger the t-score, the more difference there is between groups. The smaller the t-score, the more similarity there is between groups. A t-score of 3 means that the groups are 3 times as different from each other as they are within each group. When you run a t-test, bigger t-value, the more likely it is that the results are repeatable. So, here is the example. This one is a two-tailed test. Calculate a paired t-test by hand for the following data. In here, meron tayo ditong 11 respondents. And they were tested 2 times. They score 1 and they score 2. Ang gagawin natin dito para makuha natin is yung step 1, subtract each y score from x score. So, ganito yung kalalabasan niya. Ang x score natin sa subject 1 is 3 and 20. So, 3 minus 20 is equal to negative 17. 3 minus 13 is equal to negative 10. 3 minus 13 is equal to negative 10. 12 minus 20 is equal to negative 8. 15 minus 29 is equal to negative 14. 16 minus 32 is equal to negative 16. 17 minus 23 is negative 6. 19 minus 20 is negative 1. 23 minus 25 is negative 2. 24 minus 15 is equal to 9. 32 minus 30 is equal to negative 2. That's the first step. Step 2, add up all of the values from step 1. So, therefore, kukuhanin lang natin yung total nung x minus y. So, negative 17 plus negative 10 plus negative 10 plus negative 8 plus negative 14 plus negative 6 plus negative 1 plus negative 2 plus 9 plus 2 is equal to negative 73. Ang susunod natin gagawin is square the differences from step 1. So yung nakuha nating sagot doon, yung sa x minus y is i-squared lang natin. Negative 17 squared is 289. Negative 10 squared is 100. Negative 8 squared is 64. Negative 14 squared is 196. Negative 16 squared is 256. Negative 6 squared is 36. Negative 1 times negative 1 is 1. Negative 2 squared is 4. Positive 9 squared is 81. Then 2 squared is equal to 4. So yan, na-squared na natin yung lahat ng value nung x minus y. Ang step 4 natin is, ito-total lang natin yung lahat ng value from x minus y squared. So, 289 plus 100 plus 100 plus 64 plus 196 plus 256 plus 36 plus 1 plus 4 plus 81 plus 4 is equal to 1,131. Yan. Medyo complicated na to. Step 5. Dito, gagamit tayo nung formula ng t-test. Ang formula niya is t is equal to summation of d over n all over the square root of summation of d squared minus the quantity of summation of d squared over n all over the quantity of n minus 1 times n, where yung summation of d is yung sum of the differences, yung x and minus y, yung total nun. And then yung summation of d squared is yung total nung x minus y squared, yung na-compute natin kanina. And then yung quantity of summation of d squared, ito naman is Ito pa rin yung summation of D. Na i-squared lang natin siya mamaya. So, okay, ito na. Yung apply na natin yung mga datang nakuha natin. T is equal to summation of D over N all over the square root of summation of D squared minus the quantity of summation of D squared over N all over the quantity of N minus 1 times N. So, ang computed value natin sa summation of D kanina is negative 73, yung total ng X and Y. All over N, which is 11. Kasi 11 yung respondents natin. All over the square root of summation of D squared is, ito yung total nung X minus Y squared kanina. Ang total natin kanina dun is 1,131 minus the quantity of summation of D. Ang summation of D natin is negative 73. Then, i-squared lang natin siya sa labas. All over N. Ang N natin is 11. Then, all over ulit, 11. N minus 1 is 11 minus 1 times N, which is 11. Then, i-compute na natin siya. Negative 73 over 11 all over the square root of 1,131 minus the quantity of ang negative 73 squared. Ang negative 73 squared is equal to 5,329 over 11. All over 11 minus 1 is 10 times 11 is equal to 110. 110. Kaya 110 yung ating denominator. So, pag kinompute natin siya, all in all is, ang kalalabasan nyo is negative 2.74. So, ang computed T value natin is 2.74. Tandaan nyo yan, negative 2.74. Then, step 6. Subtract 1 from the sample size to get the degrees of freedom. We have 11 items, so 11 minus 1 is equal to 10. Yan, ang degrees of freedom is gagamitin natin yan sa pagtingin natin ng p-values sa ating table. So, ang formula ng degrees of freedom is df is equal to n minus 1. Which is, ang n natin is equal to 11, so minus 1 is equal to 10. df is equal to 10. Then, step 7. Then, find the p-value in the table using the degrees of freedom in step 6. Ang ating degrees of freedom is 10. If you don't have a specified alpha level, use 0.05 or 5%. For this example problem, with the df is equal to 10, the t-value is 2.228. Yan. Since hindi given yung alpha, hindi naka-specify sa problem, ang gagamitin natin is 0.05. This is the pinaka-common, yun ang common na ginagamit na alpha. So, yan. Ito yung t-test table. Two-tailed. Ang sabi nun, two-tailed yung ating data. Ang computed, ang df natin is equal to 10. Titingnan nyo lang siya dito sa may left side. Titingnan nyo lang daw kung pang ilan. So, df natin ay 10. So, ayun, 10. Then, titingnan naman natin sa taas yung two-tailed 0.05. Kasi yun yung ating alpha. Pag co-connectin lang natin silang dalawang, parang nakaganto. Kung ano yung pag-mitan nilang point, yun yung ating p-value or t-table. Dito, ang pinag-meet nilang value is yung 2.228. So, ang ating p-value is 2.228. This one, step 8. Last step. Compare your table value from step 7 to your calculated T value. Ang ating P value na nakompute natin kanina dun sa table is 2.228. Then, ang nakompute naman nating T-score dun kanina, yung ginamitan natin ng t-test formula is negative 2.74. So, bali i-interpret lang natin sila kung alin yung mas malaki. The calculated T value is greater than the table value at an alpha level of 0.05. So, ayun nga. Ibig sabihin, mas malaki yung na-compute natin dun sa formula ng t-test kesa dun sa value na nakuha natin dun sa table. Therefore, ang interpretation is the P value is less than the alpha level or P is less than 0.05. Therefore, we can reject the null hypothesis that there is no difference between the means. So, ayan. Ang pinakang result ng ating t-test is na-reject lang natin yung null hypothesis kasi mas malaki yung computed t-score natin kaysa dun sa p-value or dun sa table. So, ito yung note. You can ignore the minus sign when comparing the two values. As indicated the direction, the p-value remains the same for both directions. So, yun nga. Always ang kinalalabasan ng t-value is either positive or negative kasi yun ay galing sa square root. So, yan. Yun lang for this topic. I hope na may natutunan kayo.
Okay, the next statistical tools I will going to discuss are mean, median, and standard deviation. I hope you already know this topic because you already tackled this in your previous year. Am I right? Okay, let's proceed. First, what is mean? Mean is the most widely used since this is the most stable measure of central tendency. This is commonly known as the average of the observation in a dataset. Mean is the best measure of central tendency when the data are normally distributed or when the data are ratio or interval. On the other hand, mean is not appropriate when the data have outliers or extremely high or low values since this could greatly affect the mean. Then, the formula of mean is equal to the summation of x over n, where x is the given values and n is the number of observation. Okay, naintindihan nyo na naman siguro kung anong ibig sabihin ng mean at kung paano ito makukuha. Kaya, let's have an example. Okay, teacher A give a 15 items quiz on his class. Students got the score of 8, 14, 2, 6, 8, 6, 10, 5, 7, 13, 11, and 8. Okay, find the mean score of the given data. Mean is equal to the summation of x over n. Okay, una natin gagawin is kukumputin natin ang sum ng given values. Yung x, okay, i-substitute muna natin ang mga given values. And add 8 plus 14 plus 2 plus 6 plus 8 plus 6 plus 10 plus 5 plus 7 plus 13 plus 11 and plus 8 is equal to 98. Then, i-divide natin kung ilan ang total number ng given values. At ito ay 12. Next, proceed. 98 divided by 12 is equal to 8.17. Therefore, our mean is equal to 8.17. Do you understand? Okay, let's have another example. The height of 5 runners on an Olympics are 160 centimeters, 137 centimeters, 149 centimeters,
153 centimeters, 167 centimeters, and 172 centimeters, and 161 centimeters respectively. Find the mean height per runner. First, we have to add all the given values in the data, where it is 160 plus 137 plus 149 plus 153 plus 167 plus 172 plus 171. Then divide it to the total number of the given data, where it is 7. The summation of all the given values is 1099. Then divide it by 7. 1099 divided by 7 is equal to 157 centimeter. Therefore, our mean score is 157 centimeter. Huwag natin kakalimutan kung anong unit dun sa given data. Okay, do you understand? Next is the 5-point Likert scale. 5-point Likert scale is a type of psychometric response scale in which respondents specify their level of agreement to a statement, typically in 5 points, where 1 is they strongly disagree, 2 is disagree, 3 neither agree nor disagree, 4 agree, 5 strongly disagree. Okay, ito ang 5-point Likert scale ang kalamitang ginagamit natin sa research, lalo na kapag na tayo ng ating mga questionnaires. Sa chapter 4, ito ang ating kalamitang ginagamit, kung saan ang scale nito ay 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. At sa scale natin, kailangan natin ilagay ang statistical limit, kung ano ang katumbas nito. Ang 5 is 4.50 to 5. 4 is 3.50 to 4.49. 3 is 2.50 to 3.49. 2 is 1.50 to 2.49. And 1 is 1 to 1.49. Siyempre, para maliwanagan ng mga respondents, kailangan natin ilagay ang verbal descriptions kung ano ang ibig sabihin nito. Ang 5 is strongly disagree, and 4 is agree, 3 is slightly agree, 2 is disagree, and 1 is strongly disagree. Okay, next. Next is median. Median is a measure of central tendency, which is the middle value when the dataset is arranged in appropriate measure of central tendency when the data are skewed or either positively or negatively skewed, when the data are ordinal, and when the data include outliers or extremely values. Median can be obtained by getting the middlemost value when the data are arranged in order. Yon. Sinasabi dito na ang pagkuha ng median is, kunyari, isusulat muna natin ang mga given data in ascending order at kukuhanin natin kung ano ang nasa gitna nito. At yung nasa gitna, yun ang ating median. Okay, let's have an example. For the ungrouped data, if the number of observation is odd, median can be obtained by getting the middlemost value when the data are arranged in order. Example, find the median of the given data: 6, 7, 19, 12, 4, 8, 17, 11, and 10. First, arrange the data in ascending order. We will have 4, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 17, and 19. Since 10 is the middlemost value, the median of distribution is 10. Okay, naintindihan naman siguro dahil simple lang to at napag-aralan na natin ito. Okay, next is example. If the number of observation is even, median is obtained by calculating the average of two middlemost values when the data are arranged in order. Yun naman, kapag ang given yung problem na pinapasagutan sa atin is even, kukuhanin natin, i-arrange muna natin ito in ascending order at sunod ay kukuhanin natin ang dalawang middlemost value, then divide it by 2. And kung anong answer nun, yun ang ating median. Okay, example. Find the median of the given data 20, 43, 37, 42, 16, 19, 23, 34, 45, 66, 76, 13, 14, and 56. Arranging the data in ascending order, we will have 13, 14, 16, 19, 23, 34, 37, 42, 43, 45, 56, 66, and 76. So, the two middlemost values are 34 and 37. To get the median, we will add the two middlemost values, where it is 34 and 37. 34 plus 37 is equal to 71. Then, divide it by 2. It is equal to 35.5. Okay? So, therefore, our median is 35.5. Okay? Naintindihan na naman siguro natin kung anong median. Okay, let's move on. Next is standard deviation. Standard deviation is the square root of the variance. Just like variance, standard deviation is also a stable measure of variability and most appropriate to use when the data are normally distributed. The formula of variance is S squared is equal to the summation of the quantity of x minus mean squared all over n minus 1, where x is the set of values and n is the number of sample size. And to get the standard deviation, we just get the square root of variance. Para maintindihan nyo pa at maunawaan nyo ng lubusan, we will have an example. Example, find the standard deviation of the following set of values. We have 5, 7, 11, 14, and 13. Okay, dahil sa formula ng variance is kailangan natin ng mean, uunahin nating hanapin ang mean. Mean, ano nga pala ang formula ng ating mean? Ang mean ay is equal to the summation of x over n. Okay, kukuhanin muna natin ang summation of x, yung total ng ating set of values, yung 5 plus 7 plus 11 plus 14 and plus 13. The answer is 50. Then divide it where in the total number of the set of values. It is 5. Okay, 50 divided by 5 is equal to 10. Okay, our mean score is 10. Then, let's proceed to the table. Maraming paraan ng pagkuha ng ating variance, pero mas pinili ko itong paglagay ng table para mas madali natin itong maintindihan. Para mamaya sa pagkukompute ng variance, isa-substitute na lang natin ang mga nasa table. Okay, let's put the set of values. The x. X is R 5, 7, 11, 14, and 13. Dahil sa formula ng variance, merong x minus mean, lalagay muna natin to sa table. 5 minus mean, it is 10, and 5 minus 10 is equal to negative 5. Then 7 minus 10, negative 3. 11 minus 10 is 1. 14 minus 10 is 4. 13 minus 10 is 3. Then, sa sunod, dahil dun sa formula nga natin is may i-squared pa natin yung sa x minus mean. Negative 5 squared is equal to 25. Negative 3 is equal to, squared is equal to 9. 1 squared is equal to 1. 4 squared is equal to 16. 3 squared is equal to 9. Then, we will get the summation of the quantity of x minus mean squared. We will just add the answer in the given. 25 plus 9 plus 1 plus 16 plus 9 is equal to 60. Okay, pagkatapos nating mailagay ito sa table, proceed na tayo sa formula ng variance para mas mapadali tayo. Okay, formula of variance is s squared is equal to the summation of the quantity of x minus mean squared over n minus 1. Yun, yung nakalagay natin sa table is, ito na yung nasa formula. Just substitute. The summation of x minus mean squared is 60. Then the number of set of values, yung n, is 5. And substitute. Then compute. 60 over 5 minus 1. Next is 5 minus 1 is 4. Then 60 divided by 4 is equal to 15. So our variance is 15. Next, the standard deviation. To find the standard deviation, ang formula ay the square root of variance. Okay, proceed. S is equal to the square root of 15 is equal to 3.87. Therefore, the standard deviation is equal to 3.87. Okay, next. Another example. Example, you grow 20 crystals from solution and measure the length of each crystal in millimeters. Here is our data. 9, 2, 5, 4, 12, 7, 8, 11, 13, and 3. Okay? First, we will get the mean, like the other example. The summation of x is 74. Siguro alam nyo naman, hindi na natin kailangang isa-isahin pa uli yung pag-a-add dun sa given data. Sagot is 74. And n, substitute kung ilan ang total number of the given values. Ito ay 10. Then, 74 divided by 10 is equal to 7.4. And let's proceed to the table that we need in computing the variance. Okay, the set of values is x. It is 9, 2, 5, 4, 12, 7, 8, 11, 13, and 3. And let's compute the x minus mean. 9, ang ating mean is 7.4. 9 minus 7.4 is equal to 1.6. 2 minus 7.4 is equal to negative 0.4. 5 is equal to 5 minus mean is equal to negative 2.4. And so on. Okay, para mas mapadali tayo, i-squared ulit natin kung ano yung nasa x minus mean. 1.6 squared is equal to 2.56. Negative 5.4 squared is equal to 29.16. And so on. Compute na lang natin isa-isa at makikita naman natin ang sagot. Okay, let's get the summation of x minus mean squared. 2.56 plus 29.16 plus 5.76 plus 11.56 plus 21.16 plus 0.16 plus 0.36 plus 12.96 plus 31.36 plus 19.36. So, the answer is 134.4. Okay, let's proceed to on getting the variance and standard deviation. Okay, the formula of variance is the summation of x minus mean squared over n minus 1. Dahil ang nakuha natin dun sa ating pagkukompute kanina dun sa table is ang summation of x minus mean squared is equal to 134.4. Isa-substitute na lang natin ito at yung n at ito ay 10. Okay, let's proceed to the computation. S squared is equal to 134.4 over 10 minus 1. 10 minus 1 is equal to 9. And next, 134.4 divided by 9 is 14.93. And our variance is 14.93. And to get the standard deviation, let's just square the variance. S is equal to the square root of 14.93, and the answer is 3.86. So, our standard deviation is 3.86. Okay? Yun na lang siguro, at siguro naman naintindihan nyo ang ating discussion about mean, median, and standard deviation. Okay class, that's all. We hope that you'll understand our discussion. At sana magamit nyo ito sa inyong research paper. That's all. Thank you for listening.